Welcome back to Chemistry CC for you. Previously, we have done two important videos in a series called Most Important Organic Reactions for All Exams. Today, we are going to do the part 3 of this series. So, our basic idea was to give you a gist of what the reagents and the products are for each of the reactions instead of going so deeply into the mechanism. So, here also we will be using the same technique. We will not go much into the details of all the reaction mechanisms. A few we will be definitely giving the mechanism as well, but in most of the cases we will not give the mechanism. We will just give you what the reactant is, what the product is, and what the reagents are. So let's begin. The first reaction that we are going to discuss today is Hofmann-Bromamide degradation. So in Hofmann-Bromamide degradation, a primary amide will be converted into a primary amine, and the amine will be having one carbon less than the amide. And this reaction takes place with Br2 in KOH. So amide to amine in presence of Br2 and KOH. That is the reaction in Hofmann-Bromamide degradation. Now let's see what the representative reaction is. The representative reaction goes like this. Here we have an amide, then Br2 and KH, and we will get a primary amine. And we can see one carbon is less here. One carbon less than the amide. And side products will get K2CO3, KBr, and water. This is Hofmann-Bromamide degradation. Since this is a really important reaction, and in the next few reactions, we will be coming across something very similar. So we will be discussing the mechanism of this particular reaction. So in this reaction, what happens is, at first, this is our amide. The OH minus from KOH will be abstracting a proton, and this bond will be shifting to nitrogen and give a negative charge on the nitrogen. So in the first stage, the OH minus will be taking the hydrogen and give a negative charge to nitrogen. Now nitrogen with a negative charge will attack the Br2 and will take one of the Br2, and the other will be moving out as Br minus. So what happens? The negative charge will be taking this Br, and the other Br will become Br minus, and as a result we get N-bromamide. So N-bromamide means RCOONHBr, and we have the Br minus that is coming out of the Br2. OH minus subtract a proton, negative charge on nitrogen, that negative charge take a bromine and forms N-bromamide. In the next stage, this N-bromamide will be again reacting with OH minus. So again it will be abstracting a proton and gives a negative charge on the nitrogen. This negative charge will be forming a double bond with the carbonyl carbon between nitrogen and the carbonyl carbon, and the this double bond will be going into the oxygen as negative charge. In the next stage, this negative charge will come back and form the carbonyl CO double bond, and this whole R group will be shifting onto nitrogen. So this minus charge come back, and this whole R group shifts to nitrogen, and as a result the Br leaves, and we will get the isocyanate. This is very, very important because in many name reactions this is an important intermediate. That is, isocyanate will be formed, and from isocyanate mostly many of the end products are formed. So again we have N-bromamide, and the hydrogen is abstracted, and negative charges applied, and negative charges there on the nitrogen. It will form a double bond. Carbonyl double bond will go to oxygen. When the negative charge comes back, the R group shift on to nitrogen and Br leaves, thus forming a isocyanate. This isocyanate then reacting with H2O will be forming carbamic acid, which further removes carbon dioxide to form a primary amine. This is the mechanism that we follows in Hofmann-Bromamide degradation. Hope it is clear to you. Now we will directly jump on to the next reaction. So again, the main thing that you have to remember is a primary amide forming a primary amine in presence of Br2 and KOH. Next reaction is Curtius reaction. Here acyl acide decomposes to form isocyanate with the loss of nitrogen gas. Let's take a look at the reaction. So first of all, we can start with with RCOCl, and when it reacts with NaN3, it will form an acyl acid. So this is the acyl acid. Okay. Then this can be also written in this form. N3 can be also written, acyl acid can be also written in this form, and this decomposes to form isocyanate. We have already seen this particular intermediate. This is not an intermediate, I mean a product, isocyanate product, and from that we will get the primary amine. So again here also acyl acid changes to isocyanate, and from that on reaction with water we get a primary amine. The important thing to remember from this is that what the initial reactant is. It is acyl acid. The end product is a primary amine itself, and the it directly decomposes, and we don't have many reagents in between. So that is all about Curtius reaction. Next we have Lawson reaction. Lawson reaction is again a very closely related reaction with Hofmann bromamide and Curtius reaction. So here hydroxamic acids, which are usually prepared from acids, acyl chlorides and esters, and this will be conducted in alkaline condition. Here also the hydroxamate ester is first converted into an isocyanate. So what is common in all these three reactions? An isocyanate is formed in between, and from the isocyanate we will come to an end product. So this is the representative reaction. What happens? This is an acyl chloride. The acyl chloride, when reacting with NH2OH, will give the hydroxamic acid or hydroxamic acid, and this on reaction with a base will form isocyanate, and we already understood that isocyanate on reaction with water will form a primary amine. So this itself is the reaction. Again here in the first reaction, our initial in the first reaction we have a primary amide converting to a isocyanate and then to a primary amine. In the second reaction, Curtius reaction, we have an acyl acid converting to an isocyanate and then to a primary amine. Here we have hydroxamic acids or hydroxamate esters converted into isocyanate and then to a primary amine. These are very interrelated reaction. You usually confuses these. That is why I have included all these in this series itself. And again, we have one more closely related reaction in the next slide, which is Schmidt reaction. In Schmidt reaction, an azide reacts with a carbonyl derivative, usually an aldehyde, ketone or carboxylic acid, under acidic condition to give amine or amide with expulsion of nitrogen. So let's see the representative reaction. Again, here we have a carbonyl derivative. I mean not a carbonyl derivative. This is a carboxylic acid. So this will react with an azide, N3H, azide in presence of acid, which is sulfuric acid here, and it will be giving an isocyanate, which will be further reacting with water to form amine. And instead of water, if we have some other reagent, according to that we will be having amide or amine. If it is water, definitely we will get a primary amine. So in all these reactions, Hofmann bromamide degradation, Curtius, Lawson and Schmidt reaction, the common thing is we have an isocyanate formation. We should remember this. Isocyanate formation is there. Only the difference will be in the initial reactant. So in first case, in Hofmann bromamide, we have primary amide. In Curtius, we have azide, acyl acid. Then Lawson reaction, we have hydroxamic esters, and in Schmidt reaction we have the azide with carbonyl derivative like carboxylic acid or aldehyde and ketone. All these we have isocyanate, and finally on isocyanate on reaction with water it will form a primary amine. Keep this one in mind. Next, we will be discussing another two important closely related reaction, which is Mervin-Ponroe-Verley reduction and open-air oxidation. So the importance of these two reactions are, these are the exactly the opposite. The Mervin-Ponroe-Verley reduction, in the opposite direction, if the equilibrium shifts to the opposite direction, we get open-air oxidation. So let's see what these reactions are. So the reduction of ketones and aldehydes to give alcohol in the presence of aluminium alkoxide will be the Mervin-Ponroe-Verley reduction. In the same way, secondary alcohols to ketone in the presence of aluminium alkoxide will be open air oxidation. So first in the reduction will be of ketone to alcohol, then the oxidation will be from alcohol to ketones. So these are very much closely related reactions. That is why we have included this together. Now let's see the representative example so that we can understand this. So to this, first of all, we have an alcohol here and we have a ketone here and we have the aluminum alkoxide, and this will be forming somewhat an intermediate like this in either of the cases. And if it is going in this direction, that is in this direction we get the open air oxidation, and in this direction we get the reduction. That is here this first here the ketone when going this way will be reduced to an alcohol, and from when we are going this way, this alcohol is getting oxidized to a ketone. So towards in this direction, if the arrow in this direction, it is open air oxidation, and in this direction it is Marvin-Pondorf-Verley reduction. And what happens in this six-membered kind of intermediate? So what happens is this oxygen will get attached to the aluminum, and this bond shifts to this particular position to get a ketone, and this hydrogen shift to the ketone group, and the double bond of the carbonyl carbon of the ketone will go back to the aluminum, and in that way we will be getting an alcohol on this side and a ketone on this side. So that is the Marvin-Pondorf-Verley reduction and open air oxidation. Hope this is very clear to you. So the next reaction will be Gabriel thalamide synthesis. So potassium thalamide is an NH2 synthon which allows the preparation of primary amines with reaction with alkyl halides. So potassium thalamide and alkyl halides give primary amines. So that is the reaction. And the thalamide after the alkylation will not be a nucleophile and no longer reacts. And the product will be cleaved by a base or hydrazine to give a stable cyclic product. This is the reaction. So potassium thalamide and alkyl halides forming primary amines. That is the Gabriel thalamide synthesis. So let's look at the mechanism. So here we have a thalamide, and thalamide on reaction with KOH will give the potassium thalamide. So this is the potassium thalamide. And the potassium thalamide, the N minus will be taking the alkyl group from an alkyl chloride, and the chlorine leaves. And in that way we will get an alkyl thalamide. So here we have, if it is CH3, it will have a methyl thalamide, or if it is CH2 CH3, then it will be ethyl thalamide, so on. So we will be getting, first we'll have thalamide KOH, and we'll get potassium thalamide. Potassium thalamide, the N minus will be taking an alkyl group from the alkyl halide, and the halogen leaves, and we'll get the alkyl thalamide. From this, in the next stage, what happens? In the next stage, it will be reacting with either with NaOH or with NH2NH2. So we have already, it is already mentioned here. The product will be cleaved either with a base or hydrazine. So let's see here, with the base NaOH, we will be having O minus Na plus, that is the COO minus in both the sides, and we'll have a primary amine. And if we are using NH2NH2, we will be having a primary amine along with this cyclic product. So in both cases, either we use NaOH or NH2NH2. In both the cases, our end product will be a primary amine along with either one of these compounds. So you have to keep these products also in mind, and please keep these reagents in mind, because usually the options will come along with the side products. In such cases, you need not get confused. If you write this down, you will not get confused. So that's about Gabriel thalamide synthesis. Now next, it is Dakin reaction. In Dakin reaction, 2 or 4 hydroxyl benzaldehyde or ketone form a benzene diol and a carboxylate on reaction with hydrogen peroxide in base. So we have 2 or 4 hydroxyl benzaldehyde as the reactant and the benzene diol as the product. In the reagent, hydrogen peroxide in base. So before going to the second point, I'll give you the representative reaction. So in the representative reaction, I have taken salicylaldehyde, which is a hydroxyl benzaldehyde. So hydroxyl benzaldehyde have formed benzene diode or catechol here and a formic acid. So what actually happens is the aldehyde or the acetyl group, as aldehyde group in the phenolic aldehyde or the acetyl group in phenolic ketone will be just replaced with the hydroxyl group. That is the whole reaction. For example, that is here this is the CO group. This CO group is directly replaced by an OH. Only that much is the reaction. You have to keep only that in your mind, and it is very simple. This is the shortcut to memorize Dakin reaction. What happens? The aldehyde CO or the acetyl group in the ketone, that is CO, will be replaced by OH, and in that will be the product of the Dakin reaction. Very simple. Hydroxyl benzaldehyde 2,4-hydroxyl benzaldehyde converted into benzene diode. Or we can simply replace the aldehyde or the acetyl group with the hydroxyl. But please be aware of the reagent. It will be alkaline peroxide, H2O2 in base. That should be the reagent. So now next will be a Mendes reaction. In Mendes reaction, the organic nitrile is reduced by nascent hydrogen. That is, nascent hydrogen is the hydrogen from sodium in ethanol to form a primary amine. So here we have a nitrile and this hydrogen. From where do we get this hydrogen? From Na and ethanol. So this hydrogen will form a primary amine. Very simple reaction, but always asked for various examinations. So Mendes reaction, we have a organic nitrile converted into a primary amine in the presence of sodium and ethanol. And the next and the final reaction today is Stephen reaction. So in Stephen reaction, what happens? We actually prepare aldehyde from nitriles and we have tin chloride and hydrochloric acid as the reagent. So aldehyde to nitrile in presence of SnCl2 and HCl. So the major side product is ammonium chloride. Let's see the representative reaction. So we have a nitrile here, SnCl2 and HCl. This will be forming an iminium salt. So this iminium salt on reaction with water will be forming the aldehyde. So that is this is very specific for the preparation of aldehyde Stephen reaction. So again, once again, nitriles will be converted into aldehyde in the presence of SnCl2 and HCl. So this is the Stephen reaction. These are the 10 reactions that we discussed today, and we will be doing actually we thought of stopping the series in 3 parts, but I have seen multiple other reactions which you need to be familiar with. So we will be doing that also in the coming days. I hope this one is clear to you. As I said, the objective of doing this series is to make you understand what the reactants, products and reagents are. Even if you don't get the mechanism in the first go, please try to work it out, and I hope it will be very clear to you. Similarly, as I said in the beginning, the isocyanate formation, I have explained the mechanism in one reaction. So you should try to work out it in the other 3 reactions. I have done it in Hoffman bromamide reaction. So Curtius, Lawson and Schmidt reaction, you should try to work it out. And if you are unable to do it, please inform me. I will be helping you people, but you should try to work those out. And in these kinds of reaction like the Stephen reaction and Dakin reaction, etc., you should be very aware about what we are using and what it is forming. That's it. I don't think it is very important to learn the mechanism. Still we will be learning that in some of the questions and in cases like that. So yes, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe the channel and like this video. Share the video with all your friends. Let them all study. And as I am working on the spectroscopy video, and also I'm also going to do the part 2 of the D block element questions. So see you tomorrow. All the best, and thank you for the wonderful participation in the quiz. We are having immense response so far. We think you will be doing the same for the coming days also. Thank you so much. All the best, everyone. Have a good day.